Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I'm here with day 8 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, series 10. And today's sketch is this bright, colorful, happy layout. And this is by Rachel Usher. I just tried to put her name into one. Rachel Usher, and it is so bright and fun. And I promise in the future I will do this again with scraps. But today this layout was calling for the Sweet Rush by Vicki Boutin because it has such bright, cheerful, happy colors, and I thought it would be perfect. So I have a solid black and a solid white cardstock. I have the ephemera bits and the alphas, the puffy alphas, or they're not chipboard, but they're the thickers. And then I have the sticker book that has all these fun stickers in it. And I have quite a few, maybe 2 sets of ephemera in here, as well as 2 sets of the Sweet Rush puffies. And then these 2 absolutely adorable pictures of my kids having breakfast. Well, my son was. My daughter and I were just hanging out while he ate at school. So I've got my papers, my ephemera, my picture, and this awesome sketch. So let's see how this goes. So first things first, I wanted to kind of stick with the sketch pretty close. I cut this black paper down to a 10 by 10. And that is going to be matted on that white solid, but I put it aside. And I really think I'm going to use those stripes right there. I love this one, but I only have one, and I know it's not going to be enough to cover. So I scroll through. I flip through all the papers in my paper pad, and I could have used that, but then I only have that one little side, and I'm thinking that's definitely not going to be big enough. So I pull this out, and it seems so large, and I keep thinking to myself that it's going to be enough to just have the one, but I don't know, because the big thing in the middle. So I'm going to trim all these stripes out, and I keep the little stripe that's next to it and cut right down in the middle where they blend. And then to fill in the gaps, I'm going to cut a couple of smaller little strips from this paper that came from the 6x8 paper pad. And that way I've got everything covered, and I can just add some of the same papers on the other side. So originally I was thinking I'd cut it in half, and that the triangle or the shape that's in the middle would cover the space, but it's just not going to be big enough. So I go ahead, after contemplating, and tape down the entire strip, and then the rest of them I don't cut, I just put them straight down. And so I get them reasonably evenly spaced to where they're going in the order that the paper is, so that they're connecting, but there is a small gap. But then when I flip this over, I love those the hearts that are on there. So I decided that I would put some of them with the hearts on the outside. And I end up doing the second one, well, really, I guess it's the third one, and the very first one. And then when I get done, there's a little gap that's a little more than I would want at the end. So instead of repositioning all those other ones, I just trim off a smidge. I don't think it's even 1/8 of an inch. And if it is, it's barely. So I decide that I will do the exact same thing on the other side, but I only need about 3.5 inches. So I don't want to waste, so I just trim about 3.5 inches and then put those down. Because where they meet in not the middle really, but where they meet on the inside of the paper is going to be covered by that triangular banner type feature. So I tape those down, and I really do love the way these look. Now, in her sketch, she has them, I believe, to where it's the same width all the way across, except it's, you're doing the opposite pattern, which is what I did, the opposite pattern. But mine are not the same width, so they don't match up the way hers do. So I'm making that triangle with a 6x8 paper, and I mark where the middle is, and I just line up the marking where the middle is and the corner, and I hold it really tight and I cut. and I was nervous about it. This is the only blue paper I had left because I've already used this, there's 2 in each collection, or 2 in each paper pattern. So this is how I want to lay it down, and then I'll put something in the middle to fill in that gap. So I lay this down, and I want it kind of in the middle, but that doesn't work because I'm not thinking is what's happening. I'm not thinking. Well, I think at the point that I'm recording this, it's 11 o'clock, and that's not terribly late for me, but I'm tired. My brain is full of knowledge from a training I went to this morning, and I am tired. That's why I'm in my chair doing the voiceover at midnight, which is pretty early for me. So I really want to use this You Are My Sunshine. It's not going to be officially my title, but I do want to use it because I used to sing that to my daughter all the time. So I'm thinking I might make my title Sweet Life because my son is eating pancakes, and I really do enjoy walking him to school every day, and my daughter will come with us sometimes, and I enjoy it. So I realize here that this is not going to work. So I have to move that down a little bit more. And a lot of it is because I cut it directly and it's just awkward looking because there should be more of a difference between the end on the left side, right where it meets up with that tag right there, and the beginning on the right side where it meets up with the tag. And there's not because it's the same. It's coming through. I didn't cut anything off of there. So I am actually going to look at this and think if I like it. And I like the concept of what I'm putting here, but it just looks ridiculous to me. So I'm going to pull this up, take a pair of scissors, and I'm just going to trim a little more than 1/8 of an inch, but I don't change the end of the point. I just kind of take it off at the beginning point, where it's closest to this tag, which is a fun tag. I really like these. They're so cute to look at. I like putting them on the little rings so that I can flip through them. I just forget that I have them because I don't have them in their little bins. And this is the first and only one of these that I had. And now I have one for Fernwood, and I love it. Although I'll be using it, or by the time you see this, I'll have used it. Oh, I'm like in the future, and it's so strange. So anyway, I decided I want to tilt this a little bit so that I'm not having to worry about the picture. I'm not having to worry about covering that entire gap because the pictures can help me. But I do want to make sure that that banner is showing because I went to all the trouble to make sure. Plus, that's what the sketch looks like. But I also don't want it coming off of what I have matted. So I want it to stay in this black matted square. And so change the way the pictures are. I really wanted to put the picture of them smiling nicely first, but then I decided it would work better to change it around. Just because there was a gap where I could tuck that one picture in where he's making such a goofy face. And that's okay. So I love these pictures. They're so fun. So I'm thinking I'm going to cover my tag hole with this You Are My Sunshine. And so I get it tacked. I get the double-sided tape on the back. And then I decide I really want it to come down a little and cover just the top little piece of the picture. Not much. And that, of course, is going to open up that tag hole again. Don't worry. It will get covered. And so I'm loving the way this is looking. I will go in, not on camera, and journal just briefly on that chipboard tag because I just want to write something small. And it's only going to be down there under, like, at the very bottom of the graph paper. So, and it just ends up having the date, which I've written down on a Post-it note, and saying something about how my daughter enjoys going and having breakfast with her brother, and I enjoy the fact that they love each other so much and have such a good time together. So I put some little candy pieces on here. I thought that was appropriate because he's he's eating pancakes, which is not candy, but it's sweet. And, they're sweet. So, and then I put a little phrase on here. I couldn't tell you what it says right now, even though I just did this. But when we see a close-up, you'll be able to see it. Whatever it says, it's very appropriate. Now, over on the left side of the picture, I used one of the ephemera bits, and it says, "You can't stop awesome." And that is what I decided to title this, because "You Are My Sunshine" is fitting, and it would work. But "You Can't Stop Awesome" is more fitting of their silly personalities. And I just really like the way that, that just seems even more fitting. So now I'm pretty much done. I went through the sticker sheet and added some different things. No clue what's taking me so long. Here we go. Here's the sketch. I added a few stickers in like the color family, like the hearts and things in different places. And like I said, I do journal on that tag after I turn off the camera. So see, I got the little pink heart and the pink stripe and the blue star and the green, I just color coordinated it. Everything is going great. That's what it says. Very fitting, except his face. Oh my gosh. I hope that you all will check out the creatives that are listed below, or they're actually on a playlist below. And I hope you'll come back again tomorrow for day 9, because I'm really excited about the layout and everything. So have a great day and happy scrapping.